The Boston Massacre was a pivotal event that occurred on March 5, 1770 on Boston, Massachusetts. It was a deadly confrontation between British soldiers and American colonists that fueled the growing tension leading to the American Revolution. By the late 1760s, tension between Britannia and its American colonies was escalating. The British government had imposed a series of unpopular taxes such as the Stamp Act 1765 and the Townshend Act 1767, which aimed to raise revenue from the colonies. Many colonies resented the taxes, saying them as violation of their rights since they had no representation in the British Parliament. To enforce this unpopular law and maintain order, Britain stationed thousands of troops in Boston, a major center of colonial resistance. The presence of British soldiers in the city created hostility, as they were seen as enforcers of oppressions rather than protectors. Friction between the colonists and the soldiers was common, with frequently fights and skirmishes breaking out. British troops were also competing for jobs with local laborers, further fueling resentment. As tension escalated, White called from reinforcement. Captain Thomas Preston arrived with 7 additional soldiers, who positioned themselves in a defensive formation. The crowd of colonists, now numbering in the hundreds, grew increasingly aggressive. Some were armed with clubs and sticks, while others continued pelting the soldiers with objects. The soldiers stood their ground but were visibly uneasy as they were pushed and provoked by the angry mob. In the midst of the chaos, someone in the crowd shouted fire, though it remained unclear whether this was an order or a taunt. Suddenly, one of the British soldiers, possibly Private Montgomery, discharged his musket. This led to a volley of gunfire from the other soldiers, killing 5 colonists and injuring several others. The victims included 1. Cyprus Atuk, a former enslaved man of African and Native American descent, considered the first martyr of the American Revolution. 2. Samuel Gray, a rope maker. 3. James Caldwell, a sailor. 4. Samuel Maverick, a 17-year-old apprentice. 5. Patrick Carr, an Irish immigrant. News of the massacre spread quickly, and colonial leaders, including Samuel Adams and Paul Revere, used the event as anti-British propaganda. Revere famously created an engraving that depicted the British soldier as ruthless murderers, further inflaming public outrage. His illustration exaggerated that scene, showing the British firing in unorganized fashion or unnamed colonies, which was not entirely accurate but effective in shaping public opinion. In response, British authorities arrested Captain Preston and 8 soldiers, charging them with murder. Their trial was held on October 1770, and they were defended by John Adams, a future United States president. Adams, despite being a patriot, believed in a fair legal representation and argued that the soldier had acted in self-defense, giving the hostile and violent crowd. The verdict: 1. 2 soldiers were found guilty of mass slaughter and branded on the tomb as punishment. 2. Captain Preston and the other 6 soldiers were acquitted. The Boston Massacre became a symbol of British tyranny and increased anti-British sentiment throughout the colonies. Colonies used as a proof that the British government was willing to use violence against its own people to enforce unfair law. In subsequent years, annual commemoration of the massacre were held, keeping its memory alive in the fight for independence. In 1773, tension escalated further with the Boston Tea Party, and by 1775, open conflict erupted with the battles of Lexington and Concord, making the beginners of the American War of Independence. Today, the Boston Massacre is remembered as a critical turning point in American history, emphasizing the struggle for liberty and self-governance. The site of the massacre, now marked by a memorial downtown Boston, serves as a reminder of the sacrifice made in the quest for American independence. The Boston Massacre was not just an isolated violent event but a reflection of the deep-seated frustration between the American colonies and British rule. It exposes the growing resistances against what was perceived as an oppressive government and become a catalyst for revolutionary sentiment. While the immediate legal outcome of the trial did little to punish the British soldier, the massacre left an indelible mark on the path of American independence. The event highlighted the power of propaganda, the importance of justice, and the inevitable conflict that would soon erupt into a full-scale revolution. The Boston Massacre remains a power symbol of the American fight for freedom and justice.